Hey there guys, welcome back once again. My name is Nathan Gibson. I am the director and lead trader here at the Twn Academy. It is a pleasure again to be able to bring you my weekly outlook. If you follow me, you know that I try to do a weekly outlook at the beginning of every week to give you guys a potential insight into what I will be looking at. So this week I'll be looking at three markets in particular: GBP USD, GBP JPY, and Euro JPY. And as always, I like to do a quick check of the DXY so we get an understanding of what's happening, alright? So let's jump right into it. But before we do that, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and share with anyone you know who is looking for incredible setups, alright? Let's get right into it. So as always, what we like to do is start with the DXY. Why? Because the DXY gives us a good understanding of what is happening in the US dollar market. And we can see over the last week, the previous week, we would have had a big move to a big bullish candle. And over the last week, we would have had a candle that sort of came back to about half that bullish candle. So let's zoom in a bit to see what is happening. Because if you remember from my last video where I would have talked about the potential reversal on the DXY that I was expecting, we would have gotten that, and so I am now bullish on the DXY. Alright, we would have had price pushing all the way up. Let's get some analysis on here. We would have had price pushing from the double bottom all the way up to the 94.50 area as I predicted on the last video, and then now we are having price pulling back to this 93.50 area, another psychological zone. So I like to do my top-down analysis on the weekly and daily as usual, but the 4 hours where I really expect to do majority of my critical analysis. And what I expect here is that this pullback that we see here that would have occurred primarily last week is almost finished. And so what we're going to be having now is simply just one more move to the downside is what I am predicting before price continues to push back up. But as always, we know that we can have multiple things potentially happening in the market. So I always have my bias, but I'm always aware that what I predict may happen may not particularly happen. So what would we have to do? We would have to react in that case. And so if price were to come here, say push below here, my bias would potentially change. Instead of looking for the DXY to continue to buy, I would more be thinking, it could potentially looking to sell more. But right now, this is what I am more thinking, that we're going to get price is going to push here, maybe come a bit below, but then begin to buy back all the way back into the 96 point area. All right, so for me, based on how I do this, how I do my Fibonacci, what I see here is we had this push up, and this is going to form a 61% pullback. We're just going to get that double bottom now on the EH4 and then continue to extend into the minus 61% area. And so for this week, Sunday opening into Monday, we're going to get that last sell on the DXY, which means you're going to get a final small push up on USD pairs, GBP USD in particular. But then I'm looking for the bullish movement to continue on the DXY, and as a result on GU, the sellers to come back in the market. So what does that look like on GU? Just starting again from top-down analysis, the naked chart first. Just seeing the weekly, you can see the clear break of structure right here. If you don't know what a break of structure is, you can always plug into the Twn Academy. I break down all of how I analyze the markets from the very beginner level all the way up to the intermediate and advanced, not just focusing on technicals, but also market psychology as well. All right, but what you can see here for the moment is that price, we had this big bearish candle now, And over the last couple of weeks, we start to have price ranging in this area, but I definitely believe that price is going to continue to sell after, you know, this minor pullback. All right, so now we get back to the daily. We can see price has clearly broken structure, is holding below this last structure moment, and we are on the last legs of a bullish retracement. All right, so let's get some analysis back into here as well and see what I am potentially looking at. So as normal, you know, I use my Fibonacci a lot, guys, to predict what's potentially going to happen. And so based on this, what I'm seeing here now, let's go to let me give you guys a better look at the chart. So what I'm seeing here now is based on this last push from right here down, we had a pull back up into this range here, which is a nice supply zone. Price would have pushed from here down to the minus 27. And what we're seeing now is price is pulling back into this 61% area again, maintaining the daily bearish structure. And so one final move into here is what I'm expecting. So you can see I have we're going to see it when we get to a smaller time frame, a small buy. I'm not sure if I may take it into early Sunday, Monday morning. But for the most part, I am expecting a major move down about 450 pips over the next week to week after. So we will begin to see that move. So I'm expecting a major move down on the pound dollar this week. So I'm expecting that we get price to come to this zone right here, the daily bearish structure, and then, you know, begin to give us a sell-off. But as always, what I say, we need to be potentially reactive. And so if we see that price were to come here and break this zone and then retest, I would definitely be looking to go along on GU. All right. But for the most part, my bias is that I am looking to go short long term on GU over the next 2 weeks. With regards to the particular entry, that is outside of the scope of these videos. But again, if you want to know how I enter trades that I'm able to get in at a good particular place to catch majority of the move, and then be also able to scale out effectively, you can again head over to the Twn Academy. If you are completely new to my stuff, you can join our free access, so you can get an idea of my strategy, about the things that I do, and about our academy. So you can always hop over to Twn Academy. The link is going to be in the description, and get free access, so you can get an idea of what I do and how I trade more specifically. But I am expecting that we're going to get price to move all the way down into the QP that is around 120. The QP that is around, let me see, can't even see it properly, sorry guys. The QP that is around 127.50, I believe. All right, if that is correct, just let me verify that. No, 12500. All right, so that is what I am looking at this week on GU. All right, now let's look at another market, GJ. I'm expecting something similar on GJ as well, based on what we've been having in the last couple of weeks. Very similar to GU as well. As you guys know, these two tend to move together. So I tend to trade either one or not both at the same time. Depending on which setup is better for my entry, I choose that one. But the analysis and the rationale is the same for the most part. On the weekly, we would have had that bearish move down, and this is the retracement that you can currently see here. And when I come down to the daily now, based on how I would have pulled my fibs, this is again going to be a 61% pullback right here, and then I'm expecting a move down into the minus 61%. When we go down on the EH4, you can see that we have this area here, this daily bearish structure area here in this region, where before price would have sold from, right here, where we would have seen price sold from here. So price has come right back into this zone, and what I expect now is for price to give us one last buy into that area, a potential 86 pip buy, and then a long sell down into the, down into the 130 zone. All right, but that's over the course of this week and next week. So a major sell. But again, if we get price breaking above this zone and retesting, then I would be looking for a potential long. But at the moment, I am bearish on GJ as well. And lastly, Euro JPY, I am also bearish on because of, again, similar rationale. Starting from the weekly, we can see that we would have had that big push down, and over the last week we would have had a minor retracement, well, not minor but retracement, and now we can see that again this structure, price has come back to what I call the weekly bear structure, and we have already began to see this move begin to start. EJ moves a bit differently. The structure doesn't form quite as much, so sometimes when you wait too much on the structure on EJ, you can tend to miss the trade. So for now, what I can see, we would have had on the 4-hour time frame a double top by that particular area on the EH4, and we can begin to see EJ would have pushed off and then has given you a minor pullback. So again, this is a really good trade to potentially enter here right now. I wouldn't be too anxious to hop in it. I have seen that, price has pushed down here, but what we can have is probably price pushing back up to this 61% before continuing down. But when it does continue down, the move I expect is quite a big move, all down to the 120 area. I expect price to push down. So that's the move I'm currently looking at. As it approaches this potential quarter point, what we may have is it may break, then we may have a potential retest of this particular quarter point right here, and then I'm expecting it to continue to sell. So that's what I'm looking at, guys, this week. As always, trading is something that anything can happen in the market. Why? Because human behavior is responsible for the market. So what we do is we predict our best, but at the end of the day, we react. All right, guys. So although you would have seen my analysis, make sure that you have your qualifying strategies before you enter a trade. Don't just enter a trade because you see someone say, hey, this is going to sell, this is going to buy. There's much more that's going to go into the trade. Managing your risks, knowing where you want to get in, where you want to get out, knowing where you want to potentially take your profits. So if you want to get into all of those things a bit more, you can definitely check us out at the Twn Academy. You can head over here, register free. All of the links are in the description. You can also join my free community on Telegram, the Winner Circle, so you can get some more insight into potential trade ideas, different things like that. All right, guys. So this has been my weekly outlook. It's a pleasure to have been able to share it with you, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great day, guys.